The Spring and Autumn period, 770 to 476 BC, was a vibrant and complex era in ancient Chinese history, where powerful feudal states continually vied for power and influence while the Zhou dynasty weakened and gradually lost control over its territories. This historical period not only marked the decentralization of central authority but also witnessed the emergence of great philosophical thought, which profoundly shaped Chinese culture and philosophy for millennia. The Spring and Autumn period began in 770 BC, when the Zhou dynasty moved its capital to Luoyi. This shift marked the beginning of the dynasty's decline and the onset of unprecedented decentralization. While the Zhou king remained in his position, he was effectively a symbolic figure, as actual power had shifted into the hands of strong feudal states like Qi, Jin, Chu, Qin, and Wu. In this environment, more than 100 states vied for dominance, each aiming to assert its authority, leading to incessant warfare across the Chinese lands. One of the most prominent figures of this time was Duke Huan of Qi, the first hegemon, famous for leading smaller states against external threats. Duke Huan of Qi established the Peace Accord Alliance, a coalition of feudal states united to strengthen collective defense and maintain order. However, internal competition and the ambitions of each feudal state gradually weakened these alliances, leading to increasingly complex conflicts. Following Duke Huan of Qi, Duke Wen of Jin and King Zhuang of Chu rose to power with their own ambitions, which led to continuous conflict and redistribution of power. The feudal lords were not only competing militarily but also utilizing diplomacy, alliances, and political tactics to assert their influence, adding to the complexity of the power structure at the time. Amid the incessant warfare, the lives of ordinary people were heavily impacted by the turmoil. The lower social classes, particularly the peasantry, bore the brunt of instability and poverty due to war and heavy taxation. However, this period also saw the rise of new social classes, such as merchants and intellectuals. Education and knowledge began to gain importance thanks to the emergence of great thinkers like Confucius, the founder of Confucianism, whose influence became profound. Confucius envisioned a society based on moral values, loyalty, and social order, emphasizing the role of education in cultivating individuals. He believed that rituals and ethics were essential to maintaining social stability. And although he was not successful in implementing his ideals during the Spring and Autumn period, his teachings became societal norms widely embraced by later dynasties, particularly the Han dynasty. Alongside Confucianism, Daoism, founded by Lao Jia, also emerged and gained influence during this period, emphasizing harmony with nature and living according to the Tao or the natural way. Lao Jia's Daoism introduced a different perspective on life, advocating tranquility, optimism, and minimal societal intervention. In addition to Confucianism and Daoism, other philosophers like Mo Tzu and Guan Zhong enriched the intellectual landscape of the Spring and Autumn period, establishing a foundation for the 100 schools of thought era, which contributed to the diversity of Chinese philosophy. The Spring and Autumn period also saw significant development in military strategy and tactics. Warfare and military reform became essential factors in helping feudal states expand their territories and consolidate power. One of the most influential military strategists of this time, Sun Tzu, authored The Art of War, a seminal text in military philosophy. Sun Tzu emphasized that warfare was not merely about brute force but involved a combination of intelligence and strategic flexibility. Instead of relying on chariots as before, The feudal states began organizing their armies into infantry and archery units, which enhanced mobility and effectiveness in combat. These changes provided advantages in warfare and laid the groundwork for the future of Chinese military art. The spring and autumn period also marked the flourishing of culture and art, particularly in music, poetry, and rituals. Music was seen as a means of nurturing morality and spirit, highly valued by Confucius and other thinkers. Cultural practices and traditions unique to Chinese society began to take shape during this period, laying the foundation for a rich and long-lasting cultural heritage. As the spring and autumn period came to an end, powerful feudal states began to dominate surrounding territories. Competition among major states like Qi, Jin, Chu, and Qin intensified, leading to the Warring States period, a time when the strongest states vied for supremacy and eventually paved the way for unification under the Qin dynasty. The political, military, and philosophical reforms that reached their peak toward the end of the spring and autumn period formed a strong foundation that propelled China into the Warring States period, a time when power was concentrated in the hands of a few dominant states rather than a fragmented feudal system. The spring and autumn period was indeed a remarkable era, not merely marked by power struggles but also by the birth of significant cultural, philosophical, and military values. The teachings of Confucius, Laozi, and other philosophers left an indelible mark, shaping Chinese culture and providing a precious legacy for future generations. Transformations in social governance, military strategy, and cultural values laid the groundwork for a unified, stronger China, ushering in a new era, with a rich historical and cultural heritage.